It's time to relax, grab a drink, pull up a chair by the hearth, and have a seat in the Skald Circle to listen to the tale of Thor's wedding from Norse folklore, as told by Casimir.
And Mynogan. As a special treat, this story is being told in the style of our live, in-person shows. While this means the story may not be word for word as transcribed, we're certain you're going to love it. Before we begin our story, we wanted to remind you that we release new tales for free every week. Our tales are released on Wednesdays. Find out where you can hear them on our website at theskaldscircle.com.
And be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way you'll never miss out on one of our enchanting tales from around the world.
Additionally, if you'd like to hear more of our stories and some of our witty banter, this is your reminder that we perform live stories on Twitch every 3 weeks on Thursdays. You can find more information about that on our Facebook page. Just click on the Events tab.
In addition to a reminder about our live Twitch shows, we have some exciting news. The Skald Circle will be at the Bristol Renaissance Faire, July 13th and 14th, 27th and 28th, August 10th and 11th, and August 31st through September 2nd. We would love to see you there. Well, one morning, Thor woke up, and he did the thing that he does every morning, and he threw off his covers, reached down, grabbed at his hammer, and he was very surprised to find that it was not there.
I know I'd be surprised if mine wasn't there.
It would definitely be very startling.
Or worse.
But, you see, this was a bigger problem, because, you see, Thor's hammer was apparently the only real weapon that the gods of Asgard have.
That's not very good planning.
Not very good planning at all. And so, Thor began to panic, and all of the other gods also began to panic. And they all began to search far and wide for Thor's hammer. Even Loki decided to help as he turned himself into a falcon and flew off to go and search for it.
Now, Loki made his way to Jotunheim, the land of the giants, and there while flying around, he sees a large giant swinging around back and forth what looks to be Thor's hammer. So he lands, turns back into a god, and says, "Oh, where did you get that?"
"Oh, you mean this hammer that's been in my family for generations that I found this morning?"
"Yeah, that one."
Yes, it's mine."
No, it's not. I know it's ours. When can we get it back?"
"Well, it is very dear to me, but I think that I'd be willing to give it up for, let's say, Freya's hand in marriage."
"Would you accept anything else?"
No.
So, this was a problem. For some reason, the giants were always vying for Freya's hand in marriage. So Loki flew back, turning into a falcon once more, and went to Thor and said, "Thor, I have found your hammer. Do you want the good news or the bad news?"
"Loki, that's fantastic news. Let's go with the good news first."
"A giant has it."
That's the good news.
"That's the good news."
What's the bad news?"
"Oh, the giant is willing to give it back, but only for Freya's hand in marriage."
"Oh."
"You go tell her."
Fine, but you have to come with me."
"Okay."
And so Thor and Loki went up to Freya's hall. And they knocked on the door, and Freya answered. "Freya."
"Yes, Thor."
"We have wonderful news."
"Oh, did you find the hammer?"
"We did."
"Oh, that's wonderful."
"But we need your help to get it back."
"Oh, sure, I can do anything to help."
"Anything?"
"You seem really excited about that."
Yes, you see, the only thing that we need from you is your hand in marriage."
What was that? I'm sorry, you appear to have coughed. I couldn't understand you.
Yes, my apologies. I said we need your hand in marriage.
Thor, move your hand away from your mouth when you speak.
That makes sense. Apologies, the allergies. We need your hand in marriage.
No!
And you see, all of the gods of Asgard were suddenly very surprised at the sound of a battle happening inside of their own midst. And as they looked out toward Freya's hall, they saw the doors fly wide open. And they saw Thor and Loki go careening out through the doors, followed by a variety of objects, like plates and chairs and spears.
That sounds dangerous.
I think that's the point.
Oh.
And it was at this point that Thor and Loki realized they needed a different plan.
Makes sense.
And so all of the gods were assembled to come up with a plan. And they began brainstorming back and forth, coming up with a variety of different ideas, like breaking into the giant's hall, but they had the hammer, so that'd be a horrible idea. Maybe trying to trick the giant somehow, but none of the gods could come up with a clever idea. But then the god Heimdall stepped forward, and he had a plan. Now, you see, Freya has red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Thor also has red hair.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what we do is we dress up Thor as Freya and have him go marry the giant.
Every god thought that was a wonderful idea.
Except for Thor.
Well, that's Thor's problem.
But you see, Loki was already prepared for this. He had a wedding dress already picked out and fitted for Thor. He had a bridesmaid's dress already picked out and fitted for himself. And he was excited. And so he got Thor all dressed up, not entirely with his approval. And they went traveling to the giant's hall for the wedding. Now, you see, the giant was very excited to hear that Freya had accepted his betrothal. And so he planned the grandest ceremony. All of his friends and relatives were there. There was a wonderful feast, barrels of mead and ale stacked up, and it was going to be a truly stupendous celebration.
That sounds like a good time.
Indeed it is. And the giant greeted them and said, "Oh, I am so glad to see you here. Please, come, go and eat and drink your fill. The ceremony will be happening soon."
Yes, I'm sure we'll both behave.
"Yes, we will." I'm sorry. "Yes, we will." And so Thor walked into the wedding ceremony, walked up to the table to refresh himself, and began to eat. A lot. He ate all the little hors d'oeuvres off of the plates. He ate an entire side of beef, multiple halves of salmon, and then to wash all of that down, he decided to drink a whole barrel full of ale. And the giant was very surprised at this. "I have never seen anyone eat or drink so much. What is going on here?"
Loki jumped forth and said, Wait! It's all right. She's been so excited about the ceremony that she hasn't eaten in a month. Right, Freya?
"Right."
Good.
"Oh, good. I love excitement. Now, I know I am not supposed to do this, but I think that I'm going to take a little peek under the veil to get a look at my bride."
Please don't.
And so the giant walked up to Thor, lifted up the veil, and suddenly he recoiled back in fear. "What is the meaning of this? I have never seen such fiery eyes before. They are like hot coals."
Wait, it's all right. That's just, passion in her eyes. Passion, extreme passion. Right, Freya?
"Right."
Good.
"Oh, passion is good. Maybe we should do the ceremony right now."
Oh,
then.
yeah, the sooner the better.
And so they did. And it was a beautiful ceremony. The giants were crying. The officiant was giving a wonderful speech. The giant had tears in his eyes as he read his vows. And when they got to the climax of the ceremony, as Thor was sat in the bridal throne, they produced the hammer and handed it to Thor on the bridal throne. Thor took the hammer in one hand, took the wedding gown in the other hand, and tore the wedding gown off and killed all of the giants in the hall.
Well, that just sounds like a happy ending to me.
Indeed it is, and that is the story of Thor's wedding from Norse folklore.
Did they ever get another weapon?
Pass. And that is the tale of Thor's wedding from Norse folklore. Thank you for listening to our story. Before we talk about anything else, we need to address a saddening fact. Every year, more and more of these stories vanish from collections, forever to be lost to time. Our mission at the Skald Circle is to keep these stories alive for generations to come. If you want to help support our mission, we recommend taking a look at our Patreon page as noted in the description below. For even $1 a month, you can help us keep these stories alive, while also earning great rewards. Also, remember to subscribe to us on your podcast app, and leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed the story. It really helps us.
A special thank you to all our Patreon supporters for your support this month. Without your contribution, we wouldn't be able to continue these stories, and we truly appreciate it.
Visit theskaldscircle.com or our Facebook page to stay up to date with all our current events, news and much more. Not only that, but you can also visit our story archive of every tale we have told. It's sorted by origin and region for the convenience of your listening pleasure.